the mother busy with her schedule, trying to adjust and see to it that how much good quality time she can spend with the child. But this really resulted into a tussle. And this tussle, the tussle, not only the mother struggling in playing both roles as a mother as well as a homemaker, as well as an employee or maybe a higher position which she is holding, but this gave rise to a friction in the family between the husband and wife itself. Now, if you see those who are practicing in family courts, especially, you'll find that this tussle then goes to such an extent that it has become taken shape of an ego battle. It's not that we are not, when on one hand we talk of empowerment of women. Of course, the woman could have never been empowered unless and until she stepped out of the house, played an important role in the society. Not only she had proved herself to be a good homemaker, but now time came when a woman wanted to establish herself outside the house. Nothing wrong in that, rather this was the most welcome step. We all have seen the transition from our grandmothers to our mothers and this generation, when we have seen that we are not that the mothers, the women have become irresponsible, but being shouldered with the responsibility to take care of the home, because we still are, I believe that we still are in a scenario where we find that despite the woman having stepped outside the house, she has not been able to give up her role as a mother, as a daughter-in-law, as a sister-in-law, as a wife, and then became the struggle for a woman to establish herself, to prove that she is a superwoman. You see, many of the in the 90s or say 2000s, you must have seen a lot of advertisements and beautiful advertisement showing that how a mother is able, how a woman is able to balance her role both as a woman, a professional outside, and in the house. It's easy to look at the advertisement and appreciate that superwoman, but when it comes to actually implementing the role, I agree all those women who are present here and also all those men who have supported their wives must have realized how difficult this task is. But you know, this has resulted into a sort of stretch on between the relationship in a family. Now the stage has come that the woman is not ready to go back, started the tussle and the ego battle to the effect that if I am also working, bringing the same amount of money in the house, contributing to the financial stability of the house, and not only this, sometimes more than the husband brings, then started the tussle. And in most of the matrimonial matters, all those who are dealing with this type of dispute, you'll find that ego is the most important factor which is really breaking the relationship. We don't want to get into, or other, I don't want to get into the issue whether what is the cause for that. There may be causes and causes, but definitely a woman becoming independent has definitely contributed to this task. A woman earlier was expected to play a role within the square, what you can say, a framework of a housewife or a wife or a mother. And now when she wants to assert herself not only as a mother but a mother who is a decision maker, then probably somewhere there starts the ego battle. And therefore you have seen that the role of the family has undergone a change. The concept of family has undergone a change. From rural areas to the urban areas, it varies more and more. Now, even in rural areas, it's not that you may not say that the disputes are only peculiar to urban areas, because in rural areas also, small places also, you get divorce petition, you get all these disputes. The cause for the dispute might be different, because the husband comes drunk, doesn't give money at home, the wife is still dependent for the money for those small little things upon the husband, and there the cause may be it may take a little different shape, but definitely still the disputes are existing in whether a house is in urban area or in rural area. The family courts disputes particularly revolve, and this then brings the children also in. And the saddest part of the family disputes, as long as the disputes were restricted only to the husband and wife, it was okay, in the sense that they may mend their ways, because as they say, in the morning the husband and wife may fight, but at the end of the day, they live united. But when the children started, when with the children in the involved in the battle, it is becoming more and more murkier to such an extent that when we get this family dispute matters with the children involved, you are at pains to resolve these disputes. All my judges, all my family court judges who are present here, and Mr. Ganatra, who is specially was in Mumbai, he was in Pune, he is aware as to in metro cities, especially like in cities like Pune and Mumbai, where there are what you can say people who are involved in IT sector, specifically Pune, we have seen how difficult it is to overcome these disputes. You have couples who had in fact courted for 8 years, 9 years, but as husband and wife, we have seen that they are not able to stand each other even for 6 months. When the proceedings come for divorce, the reason is we find ourselves incompatible. Now, what is that incompatibility as husband and wife? Because as friends, you were compatible for 8 years. As colleagues, you were compatible with each other for so many years. But when you come and you get into a bond of marriage, then suddenly you realize that we are incompatible with each other. Why does it happen? Does it happen? And I will tell you that when as family court judges, and I must tell you that I have never dealt with family matters, very few. But when I sat on the assignment of the family court, that was the most strenuous assignment, I must say, because this was the most stressful assignment, because you are unable to decide who is right and who is wrong. Then just almost 1.5 to 2 years, I have been made a guardian judge for the family courts, and that's how when I realized what is the pendency and how much is the inflow of the family matters. And you will be surprised to say that the maximum filing of the new cases in family court. In Pune, we have 8 judges, still short, because the judges are required to give dates after 3 months, 4 months. In Mumbai, we have 7 judges, now 1 more is added, but still the dates given are after 3 months. In family court assignment, because there is only one court which deals with the family court assignment in Mumbai, and it's very difficult because when a woman comes for maintenance, being aggrieved by an order of maintenance, and we are unable to give a circulation for 2 months, 3 months, we are really at pains to realize this, that we are unable to offer solace to this woman. Of course, now we have 10 more family court judges. We are added some of the judges still are coming. We have selected some 12 judges, but still the inflow in the family court is amount we are unable to. We must admit that we are not able to tackle it. You have to always keep in mind that the family is the focus of a survival, or you can say the basic existence of a man. Because a man who walks out of the house in a disturbed state of mind, I'm not talking only man, doesn't mean only a man, but it can be a woman also, or even for that matter, a child also. When a man walks out of the house in a disturbed state of mind, you don't expect him to be a great performer in his office or official duties also. Because a man who enjoys, or a family which enjoys peace at home, is the one who can give something best to the society. We all must have experienced that sometimes or the other, when you get out of the house disturbed, because maybe not because of some discord, but for some reason, if you get out of the house and you see how you spend your day, you are irritated for the whole day, you are unable to focus on the work. And it's normally when we used to be lawyers, when a judge used to be very annoyed on the day and come in the court and not grant circulation, we often used to say, "Aaj ghar pe kuch to bhi bigda hai." The fact remains that whenever you are in a disturbed state of mind, you are bound to perform underrated. So the main focus of a man to be fruitful in his life is to have a good family bonding, to have a good relationship with the family. But what do we say when we have so much of inflow of the disputes in the family courts? And the biggest irony, or we can say our agony, is this: we are unable to provide speedy solutions to these disputes. The family disputes now, if you see that the Family Court Act was enacted in the year 1984 to segregate this type of disputes and hand it over to a special court which will have a special jurisdiction, special court which will have specially trained judges, because It's very difficult if you are dealing a murder trial and a family court matter comes before you. It's very difficult to switch off and switch on, because definitely family court disputes require a special skill to deal with. You require a cool, level headed mind to settle a family dispute. You can't mix it up. You dealing with one mocha matter, another matter comes as family court. And this was precisely happening with the civil judges. So we had a complete different establishment of family court with an idea, because imagine in 1984 when the act was enacted, the parliament must have never imagined that such would be the inflow of the cases, that because you see what was the construction for every civil limit of some 10 million, one judge. Now we are overflowing the population, and so also are the number of cases that are coming before the court. The expertise which was expected to be discharged on part of the judge who was to deal with the family court matters was required a type of sensitivity, because a normal man, it's not easy for a normal man to take up a family court matter, for the simple reason that you need to have that mindset as to how do we come, because I must make it clear to you that all the family court judges, they do not simply act within the four corners of law, but sometimes, or rather I may say many a times, they are required to offer out of box solutions. Now these solutions come only when you have a specially skilled mind to deal with such type of disputes. Now you have, therefore, the Family Court Act introduced a provision for counsellors. So before the dispute actually comes to the court of law, an attempt is made to see to it that the dispute get reconciled with the help of a trained mind, the marriage counsellor. When it goes before the marriage counsellor, it's not a formality that you just go and say that no settlement possible, go to the court. Our marriage counsellors are trained people, and when we appoint the marriage counsellors, their qualifications are specifically MSW and the like qualification, so that they have a trained mind to deal with such type of dispute with a social background. Because when you are dealing with a family dispute, the family dispute may touch the society on large. It appears that a dispute takes place between the four corners of a wall, but we are mistaken if we say that the family dispute is only restricted to that family, because it has an impact outside the family. It has an impact on the social structure of the society itself. When we talk of this, we were once upon a time very proud when we used to say that marriages are settled in heaven. But definitely today we can't say that marriages are settled in heaven, because marriages are now settled on internet, marriages are settled on WhatsApp, marriages are settled on what you call that the Twitter. So this is a fact. But at the same time, when they are settled there, you find they are dissolved also there. You will find that we have broken on Facebook. You will find we have separated. We have come together. We have separated everything on internet. This is a fast era. But the worst part of this fast era is the most affected are the children. When a discord happens in a family, it's not only the husband and wife, that is the couple, who is affected. It disturbs the family of the girl, it disturbs the family of the boy, and not only that, it becomes more painful when you have a child in the marriage. And sometimes you feel so strange that why these people, and the most important thing, the toughest part of this matrimonial dispute is dealing with the child custody matters. I remember, because presently I am on the habeas corpus litigation in Mumbai, and habeas corpus, when it comes, largely you will find habeas corpus is not that somebody, it's not very few petitions you get typically exercising habeas corpus, but most of the 70% of the habeas corpus petition is the wife has taken the son, the husband has taken the son from my custody, and let him be produced before the court because I want to know. Now everybody knows that the son or the child is with the mother. So at times we take pains and we call the couple in the chamber. At times, most of the times we see to it that we want to talk to the child. We'll try to ascertain what the wish of the child is. This surprising thing what I have noticed is this: the custodian parent manipulates the child so much that the other parent has no chance to stand to have the custody. So whenever you ask the custodian parent that all right, we'll interview the child, they say yes, ladyship may interview. When should I bring him? When the child comes, you are surprised that the child is so strong in his mind. His notions are so strong. Recently, we were dealing with a matter, and this child, a very wealthy family, the father have some big hotels in Goa, a wealthy family, and for some reason, the father had gone with the child, and the mother had filed a habeas corpus. The mother used to come to the court, she used to always beg. For a while, I normally feel that a child should not be made to come to the court of law frequently, it should be by way of a last resort. But when we realized that it's not resolving, we thought that we'll talk to the child. We were shocked to have a child of 7 years who was I had never seen such a brilliant child. And the child was so brilliant. So the first day when we told him, we called him, we asked him, why don't you meet the mother? He was very stubborn. He gave me reasons, and he had an Apple watch. So I said, he used to look at the watch all the while. So I said, why are you looking at the watch? So he told me that when I talk of my mom, my heartbeat goes faster. So you see how much my heartbeat is now. So I said, all right, doesn't matter. Then we asked him, then two senior counsels were appearing. Then we said, would you like to talk to your mother? So he said, of course not. So I said, no, we are calling your mother. So he was I could see the body language. He just went into a shell. But can my papa sit next to me? I said, of course he can. When the mother came, he was not even ready to look at her. Then I told him slowly that, all right, you can talk to her. No, I don't want to talk to her. She did not allow me to get admitted. He wanted an admission in a particular school and the mother was objecting. But the body language was so stiffened. He was not ready. Then it was time for us to go to the court. We had spent much of the time. So I told him, okay, we'll do one thing. Where you sit in our chamber. Your mother, father, if you want to talk, you can talk. Otherwise, you don't talk. So we told him that, okay, we'll be coming back by 5:30 and by that time you be here. So I said, all right, I'll be there, but I'll not be talking to her. And so stubborn he was. After that, when he came, nothing happened. 2-3 sittings after that. Then I told him slowly. Then I told him you would collect to come to the court. He said, yeah, I think I felt good to talk to you. So I said, okay, good. Even I felt good to talk to you. So then next time I said, you need not come. He said, no, I want to come. I want to meet you. So I said, okay, come. Next, after 15 days, then we told him to meet somewhere outside. Then the child was so smart. He had recorded. He told me that she came, held my hand, and look, I have everything. My heartbeats are here. So I know how my heartbeats had grown up. So I told him, next time, sir, when you went to go to meet your mother, and now you remove your watch. So he said, no, I can't do that. I said, you remove it. Then we'll see what happens to you. So we asked him, and I told his father that next time when you take him there to meet the mother, don't ask him to put on the watch. So slowly, fourth time when he came, every time he used to insist that I want to come and see you. Then 4th day when he came, he gave me a beautiful letter and written everything. You are my best friend, you have met me. And surprisingly, 3-4 meetings, he was ready to talk to the mother. Then he spoke to her, then he told her why. I told him that you bash her out, you tell her why you don't like her, you tell her what is in your mind. So he told he had, no, she behaved with me like this, she behaved with me like this. Then she came to my school and she insulted me. I said, what is it? She tapped me on my shoulder. So I said, was it? So all my friends were looking at me because she tapped on my back. And slowly opened up, and I'm glad to see. One day he just came and hugged me and told me, would you call me in the next week also because I want to come and see you. But I said, that's one condition, that you must talk to your mother will also be here. Yeah, doesn't matter, I'm comfortable. So this boy, when I came to Nagpur, he was eagerly waiting. Tell me, I told him, now you can't come and see because 3 weeks I'm not here. So I said, no, then I'll wait. I'll meet only my mother. If you promise me, I'll meet her every week. Now I'll see what happens, because you see how it happens is this. They are small children, their minds are made up like that. I still remember one incident when we interviewed the child. He was not ready to go with the father. And then he really enjoyed it so much with the father. After the second visit, he came and asked her, can I stay with my father for 2 more days? I said, of course you can. And that's how you really, because what you need is, you have to work on their psyche. You need, of course, this requires time, because you have to, if you are on an assignment which you are bogged up with other matters, and listen until you spare time. But sometimes all of us, and I'm sure the family court judges also, spend a lot of time. We spend our lunch time sometimes after the court hours. just with an intention that if these misunderstandings are given up, then probably the children can come together and stay as a family. But this definitely is a difficult task to deal with because it requires a lot of patience. Now, I must also tell you that as far as lawyers are concerned, what we expect from the lawyers, I must be open about it, because what happens is this is what my experience is, that sometimes when the families, I'm not blaming anyone, but sometimes what happens that the families are ready to settle, but they are sometimes ill advised to tell that doesn't matter, court will also give you, we'll see what happens. And I must also tell you one more example in my life which has taught me something very great. When I was a new judge in Bombay, after I was appointed in 2017, so new judges are supposed to take up all the vacation assignment. So Diwali, Christmas and then summer vacation. As soon as I got on the bench, there was one matter which used to come, and that was for the custody of that either Diwali vacation, Christmas vacation, or for on 2-3 assignments it came to me, and I realized that the couple was residing abroad for a while, but then they had come to India, and they had one child was 5-year-old and one child was some 4-year, just 1.5 difference between them. So whenever I used to pass the order, every time the order was taken up before the Supreme Court, either by the husband or the wife. Now this happened 2-3 occasions. I had an opportunity every vacation, rather access, only on access. Now I never, because I was a new judge, I did not have an idea. I never thought of calling them in chamber and trying to find out, because at that time I believed that my only function is to act as per law. So wherever I used to divide the excess or so and so, every time, then whenever the matter came next, the matter was taken to the Supreme Court, sometimes upheld, sometimes modified, and like and like. So when I was on my single assignment once, then I asked them that what's the law. I asked the lawyers, they told me that it's not possible for the couple to reconcile, but if ladyship can help us with the access program, we'll be very obliged. I said all right. So the two counsels used to come to my chamber every day. Every day after 4:30, 5 o'clock we used to meet, and long drawn process every time. And the girl was from Gujarat, from a good family. The boy was working with a private company, and both of them were in fact working in US but returned back to India. So I realized the children were called. So it was so messy that every time whenever I used to say that all right, today you take the child and you can meet them, or this next Saturday, Sunday, I used to tell the boy, you go to Vadodara and see. So the father used to, even if the children used to be reported back after 1 minute, he used to give me an affidavit. See, he came late by 2 minutes, the father used to say. So I said, doesn't matter, they were with the father. Then one day what happened, that they went to the father, took them children to the restaurant. So when I met the father, I asked the child to be taken by the father in a restaurant, and the child apparently misbehaved, so the father slapped him. So the mother and her father came, the mother of the children and her father came saying that no, now we are not going to grant him a single day's access and all. I said, what happened? So they said, no, he's slapped. The father said that he was in the restaurant, he put food in his mouth and he was throwing it at somebody else. So I had no option then to slap. So I asked the girl that, Ishita, if you would have been there, probably you would have done the same thing. You would have reprimanded your child saying that you don't do it. But if he would not have listened, what option it would have done? You would have slapped. But so it was such a messy thing. But somehow all those terms of settlement, then she came and she said that she made a demand of some 15 crores. So I said 15 crores. The boy said, I'll give that. Another demand was that he should arrange for their higher education abroad. So I said, it's not the time to speculate. He said, Madam, agar mujhe kuch ho jata and if I'm not able to fulfill this, I am a goner, because she'll howl up me for contempt. I said, of course, in a normal life also, nobody can assure what is going to happen after 25 years. So I tried to tell her father was very educated, her brothers were very educated, but they were stubborn. No, we will not settle beyond this. Then health insurance for these children. At this age, he must be. I said, it depends on the performance of the child, going abroad. How can you decide it now? They're just barely 7-8 years old. So she told me that nothing, we are not, we want this and this. Then for vacations also, there were a lot of tussle, terms were drawn, redrawn every time. Some senior counsels were appearing, so every time they used to ask, we used to change the terms. And one fine morning, this girl comes and tells me, I don't want to settle. So I said, why? So she said, no, I don't want to settle. So I was also really, it was really too much of strenuous for me. I said, all right, departed. I made it departed. I said, anyway, now I'm not taking up the matter. Then when I was on some other assignment after 2 to 3 months, the council came and mentioned before me, ladyship, we want the matter to be taken at 2:30. I said, why? So he said, no, we are settled. I said, oh, really? And there were some 23 proceedings pending between them. So that was going before some other court also, all different proceedings. So I was very happy. I said, oh, let come down at 2:30. So immediately they come. I did not say. I said, and I looked at this. The settlement was some health insurance and no money was asked by that girl. For the children, nothing. She said, I'll take care of the child, and everything was well settled. The children will visit. Holidays were shared. So I was really surprised, but I said, anyway, this is done. The councils put their signature. They put their signature. I said, so at the end of the day, the council made a request that, can we see you in the chamber after your court hours are concerned? I said, okay, you can. So they said, the mediators want to meet you. So I said, okay. So when they came, they were from their Samaj. So I asked them that, how did this work out? This girl did not ask anything. Otherwise, for everything for last 4 months, we were struggling on this and she was not agreeable. So then they told me, they were from their Samaj, from Gujarati people. They told me that, madam, actually I used to always tell that girl that there is nothing remained in your relationship because they never wanted to stay together. So I used to always convince her that you start your new life, where every day for last 4 years, specifically this girl and her entire family were not engaged in anything but this. Only focused upon 1 minute late, they used to keep a watch. For everything, they used to have how much money spent. And she used to say, when I come, she should be given a 5-star hotel, the children should stay in 5-star hotel. Of course, money was not a problem for them. But then these people told me, the mediators, that ladyship, actually what happened, all that time when you were trying to tell her to be independent in life, to start her own career, so somehow at the back of her mind, and one point came when she realized that I don't want to dependent on this man, and I'll do something on my own, and my children, only the bare minimum, some health insurance and all, except that I'll take care, and whatever he wants, he'll do for the children. So they told that this is all for that 4-5 months what was going on. She suddenly realized it. And you won't believe, surprisingly, just 2-3 months back, the girl and her family then used to, whenever they come and meet me, they seek my PA's appointment, they come and meet me, and she's very happy. She's a teacher in Vadodara. The children are grown up. The child is in 8th standard. She brought the children one day. She told me that he wants to be a lawyer, and he says, I want to become a judge. So I was very happy. I said, very good. You want to become a judge? Nothing like this. So she said that, no, he's very inspired by you. Then the boy, just few months back, the husband also came. He came with a girl. He said, madam, she is a doctor. I'm married to this woman now. And she is from Nagpur. So I brought you over here. And I was so glad that seeing that sometimes I was telling him, look at do you imagine 3 years back, in what sort of vicious battle both of you were? So he said, yes, madam, I realized. The girl also realized. She said, madam, I am up so much at peace. They have a naturopathy center. She says, I'm in the naturopathy center. The children are happy. The children go and stay with the father often. With the new mother also, they are so friendly with the new mother. And she is comfortable. That she was telling me that, madam, is that other wife, no, she takes good care. So I am comfortable. Last time when I went abroad, I left them with the father. So this is how the whole thing, it's a question of what point of time of life you are. Because sometimes in family matters, you will find that it's only at that time I spent so much time upon this girl. I used to convince her, no, move ahead in life. Why are you after this man? I never asked what was wrong between them. But from the very first hearing, I had realized there's no point in patching them up. That was not possible at all. I never inquired also. But they then got divorced. She told me that I don't want to get married. This man is happily married. And she said, madam, अभी मैं सोचती हूँ तो मुझे लगता है कि वो 3 साल, why did I waste my years like this? Full of anxiety. I mean, whenever they used to come in my chamber, my whole staff used to say, madam, सब atmosphere खराब हो जाता है, पूरा tension हो जाता है. So it was like that. But now, when they had been, my staff was also happy. My peers was telling me, madam, kitna, she's looking so nice, so fresh. She was talking. I mean, such are the things. So in family matters, what happens is the point when it really clicks to you that this is all wastage. Then you stop that vicious battle. Ultimately, it has to be realized by the family, and we hope that the lawyers also assist the parties in coming to this conclusion that there is no point in fighting the battle. Why waste your time? This battle because I told you when they signed the purses, 23 matters were settled. And he was telling me, Madam, हमने Supreme Court में we had engaged all top shots every time whenever your order used to be passed. Before that also they must have gone at least 10 to 12 rounds in the Supreme Court. So imagine, he said, Madam, I can't tell you how much money I have spent. So this is all, and ultimately what you gain out of this. So the main focus, the distinction between the family matters and the normal matters, you have to always keep in mind, and specifically those lawyers who are practicing on family court matters, that ultimately it is the happiness of the family that matters. And happiness lies, it's not necessary now we are in an era where we find that divorce is no more a stigma. People move ahead in life. You have to tell the couples that you can move ahead in life. This is not the end of the life. It may come to an end, but it's better that instead of getting embroiled in the litigation, getting into a vicious circle of if you do this, I'll do this. If she does this, then I do this. Instead of that, it's better to settle, either part your ways peacefully, amicably, but have a way out so that you can look ahead for your future. Otherwise, it becomes difficult. So my only earnest request is that it's no doubt that our judges often strive to do this, but sometimes we find that at times we have noted that whenever the settlements are effected, sometimes we don't get the cooperation of the lawyers. There is one center which we have here in Nagpur also, that is the pre-litigation center. And the pre-litigation center was in fact it was a concept which was coined by Justice Oka. And we remember in 2018 or 19, he told me, Justice Revati Dere, that why don't we do with this? We start a concept that before coming to the family court, we have some sort of pre-litigation center. And we have these pre-litigation centers in all the family courts. And we take it as a success even if one matter in a month gets settled. So what happens is the 8 other petitions, because now they say it comes in a bounty. It's 498A, DV proceedings, then you get maintenance proceedings, then you get custody proceedings. So one dispute at least brings 5 disputes. One family brings 5 disputes. So if we take it as a success that even if one matter is settled at the pre-litigation stage, and I'm being told that as far as Nagpur is concerned, Nagpur, Pune, we are getting great response, because instead of filing the proceedings, when the couple have decided or they have their mind made up that anyway we don't want to live together, but only thing is, or that we have named it as let's talk. Now we realize that sometimes in the family disputes, what is most important is somebody to whom they should talk to, because it happens that sometimes they are not ready because of the ego or whatever. If the girl and boy have got married on their own, they don't want to involve their parents. They will not tell all their problem to their parents. Of course, with the friends and all, it's not possible, because it's a sign of I am an unsuccessful person because I am not able to cope up with my partner. And therefore with friends, it's not like that, like those days when you used to share everything with the friends. Now whatever, it only comes on the Instagram. You can only get the signals from the Instagram. Therefore you need somebody, a human element to talk to. And this is our idea of Let's Talk, where we have good counselors. In Nagpur also we have at least presently 3 or 4 counselors. We had interviewed the counselors, we have appointed these counselors. These counselors are trained psychologists who really, apart from, we don't take into consideration the legal dispute between the parties, but they provide a medium for the couple to interact. Therefore we have named it as Let's Talk. And we have seen that so many disputes are settled out of that before going to the court of law. And this we consider, as I told you, that one dispute settled for a month, we take it as a success, because before coming to the court of law, the couple is settling the dispute. Then we have another center known as Sukoon also. In Nagpur also we have Sukoon. We have not. We in Pune and Mumbai we have Sukoon also. In Sukoon, of course, it is even for those in the court proceedings. While court proceedings are pending, we send the couple to Sukoon, and that we get the reports with the psychological impact on the child. Sometimes the couple is counseled, and then it has given us best results. At times the counselors with these centers are legally trained mind, and we use their expertise on so many occasions. At least I have put them to use on so many occasions that we have seen a mind, because the whole problem with this is this, that when you are a lawyer appearing for one party, then you are obviously interested in securing the interest of your client. As judges, our problem is this: how much time do we spare? We can spare, but then we'll have to keep our judicial work aside. So normally when we refer the parties to Sukun, or the Sukun, which is a center which is we have in the Bombay High Court premises itself, we have seen that it has given us wonderful results. And that's how we find solutions to the family court problems, because we see that in family court it's not only that you have to do justice according to law, but we have to do justice sometimes outside the process of law, because what may be just according to law may not be just for the interest of the parties. I'm really obliged to I'm given an opportunity to be here, and my special thanks to Mr. Satuja. Of course, this was no lecture, because this was not a prepared lecture at all, but this is what, because I have been observing on the family court side, and after being a guardian judge, I have really, for the first time, I realized that there is so much need for infrastructure of the family courts in form of judges, more counselors, and we are striving towards that. We have a meeting in the month of, at the end of this 9th and 10th of November, of all the three bench of the all the three judges, guardian judges, as well as all the judges of the family court. And in every meeting we discuss all the administrative difficulties, because they are most important according to us, because the ratio of the counsellors has to be increased, because they are the real persons who should get into the dispute before it is placed before the judge. We are in the process of increasing the infrastructure for the purpose of speedy settlement of disputes, but we also expect the cooperation from the lawyers for this purpose, and I hope that all my judges over here will definitely have cooperation from the Family Court Bar. I once again thank Mr. Satuja as well as the Family Court Bar Association for inviting me here and giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.